Viral, you know.
Creative family's what's most important. So
Yeah, and but yeah, I definitely been wanting to have you back on, not only just to sign the wall, but also because I seen you've been doing a lot of work.
yeah, I got a lot of changes coming, changes and big stuff, big stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, but before we actually kick it off with some of the topics, man, I just want to ask, how have you been since the last episode? I know besides...
I've been doing nothing but growing.
Yeah, well, that's good, yeah,
Shit but growing, getting bigger and better.
Yeah, that's great, yeah, man. Now, I don't know how you want to start it off, because there is a few things I wanted to bring up. I seen you've been working, or collaborating, definitely correct me, 317?
Yeah, that's actually 317, and the news with that, I don't know when you would want me to, it's exciting news, but with the 317, I'm going to be the new resident artist.
Woo!
Yeah. So next weekend is the spring art scene, and me along with a few other artists are going to be out there. You know, the other resident artists, plus there's 2 other new resident artists in addition to me. We're gonna be out there showcasing our shit.
Okay.
Whenever stuff in the gallery. I intend to dedicate a lot of hours during the weekends to being at the gallery, so I can ensure that it's open on the weekends. Because the other artists tend to be, they're older, they got kids and stuff. So during the weekends when the kids aren't at school, they don't necessarily have the time to dedicate to being there as much as they would like. So for me, I'm like, well, I'm one of the very few artists that don't have weekend obligations like that. So I'm going to take over the business hours on Fridays and Saturdays and certain Sundays.
Okay, that's dope. May I ask, how did this start? Like, how did you and 317, like...
So my friend Dylan, you haven't had her on the show. Yeah, shout out to Dylan Rose. She's a really good friend of mine, so she set me up with my first showing in 317, a little bit, like, a few months from this time, like a little bit under a year ago-ish, around about that time. A little bit under a year ago, she paid for my slot in the Rainbow exhibit that they had. And so I put my work in there, and ever since then, I've been, like, really focusing on 317. Not only was I focused on that, but I was also a nominee for Visual Artist of the Year by the Rockford Area Art Council. I didn't get it. Somebody who was super deserving definitely got it.
Okay,
You know, I'm grateful to be nominated.
Yeah, for sure.
But, 317, I forget what specific award they won, but they won an award, and it was beautiful, and I was just, like, thinking to myself, man, wouldn't it be nice to be a part of that collective, because they offer studio space, gallery space, and they offer opportunities for you to host, like, sip and paints, classes, stuff like that, yeah. So that's something I'm going to get into, but since it's something that's outside of my realm of knowledge, I'm going to sit in on a few of the sip and paints they have, a few of the classes they have, so I can, collect what they do and collect, their pricing, the business aspect of it, as well as how they communicate with whole groups, So that's something I'm definitely going to get into. But yeah, 317, it was solely because I have a really good friend in there that got me, going, and I'm eternally grateful.
Definitely shout out Dylan for paying for your slot, man. You do
she hooked me up because at the time I was financially struggling, so my art business wasn't where I would have liked it to be. And so, like, her putting in the extra effort, the extra work was great. And then later bore the fruits of, there was 3 resident artists that decided to, move their endeavors. So when they wanted to end their leasing contract with 317, they had to find artists to replace it, and my name had come up in conversation. So they came to me. I did not come to them at all. When they came to me, I was like, yo, this is like a dream and an experience, the next step up, the next level for my art. So I definitely hopped on it, and I'm coming into it with the mindset of every year or every couple months I have this, like, business goals when it comes to my art. And so maybe about 3 months ago, my business goals were like, okay, for the spring and the fall, I'm going to do what I can to get in everything and whatever in the city, take over the city, whatever you want to call it, That was my goal. My goal was also to have leg in 317 a little bit more, like all their galleries, every time they call for an artist, make sure that I'm there. never did I expect to actually be a resident artist, you know. So now that I have that, you know, I'm in, you know, I work, I try to go downtown in the strip, especially when I have a lot of work. And instead of just putting it in one place, I'll hit up each business and be like, you know, this theme fits your aesthetic in said business. Would it be okay if I hang my work here? If you don't want to sell it, that's fine. It's an aesthetic for your business. It gets my name out there. And if you do, this is my price. This is the title. Either way, it's just so people can see what I can do.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've already exceeded my goals for this year, and we're only a couple months into this year, so I had to revise my goals. My goals revised for this year is expanding outside of Rockford.
Yeah, and that's good to hear, man. And I definitely want to get into the you going into the business, man. Like, was it hard? Was it like nervous for you? Because I did that. And dude, trust me, it was definitely embarrassing at times.
Yes. Sometimes it is hard. The biggest thing that I've learned about being an artist now is it's like 30% your skill, 70% the people you know, who you associate with, how well you're good at speaking, your internet presence, and your friends. That's what gets you successful. Not really your skill. You just got to be able. Can you draw a little bit more than a stick figure? That's the point. You have an eye for things. That's the point. But man, there's so many artists I know that can't put together a drawing of a face. Which, you know, I'm not gonna shit on anybody's skills. They can probably do things that I can.
But it's weird, you know. You're like, damn, you know, shouldn't I be a little bit more out? Because I feel like I'm qualified a little bit more, you know.
Right, and you know, there's some artists that I've seen that like their work just blows me up because I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I can't do that. This is amazing. So that only makes me want to associate with them more and be like, you know, tell me your techniques. What mediums do you use? Like, is there a YouTube channel or a podcast or anything that you look at for inspiration or something that kind of like guides you in certain aspects of it? You know, stuff like that. You know, there are a lot of artists that beef with other artists. There's a lot of politics that go into artists. There's cliques and groups and friends. And my goal is whatever clique people like to call it, I'm friends with them. All of them. Like, this clique might not mess with this clique, but they mess with me. Yeah, and in this city that already has a bad rep for everybody being down in the dumps, you know, high crime rate, all these murders and stuff like that, the last thing we need is the people that are actually trying to do good in this city fighting amongst themselves. Because we're not ever going to make this city good if we're just fighting amongst ourselves.
True.
I go, and get everybody together. Let's do it together.
Yeah,
we're all in this.
You definitely got heavy points, and I have a big smile on my face, not because of, you know, the topics. It definitely does hurt me when, you know, like, it is like for you just mentioned it, right? Like, I didn't really have to say anything because you mentioned it already, so I know it's a thing. You know,
it's a thing. Yeah, I heard from Chris. Chris was the first person that kind of got me in to art shows and shit like that, the art scene in general.
Wait, Chris Jubas?
Yeah, Chris Jubas.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Chris.
Yeah, shout out for real. So he put me on, you know, and I started seeing his group, his friends, his clique, and stuff like that. I remember him talking to me, not that he's against the Rockford Area Arts Council or anything like that, but he feels like they look for a certain thing. And I've heard that from more than one artist. You know, some artists that might be rap heavy, smoke weed, black artists, they do not like us. They don't like us because they assume, like, they assume we're criminals, they assume that we're on drugs, or whatever they want to assume about us. They don't see us as professional, legit people doing you know, what we do.
But I mean, obviously you have the rights to whatever you say, but I don't think that they don't like us or whoever. It's just they feel like it's beneath.
Yeah, they think they're above it. You know, the nose is a little in the air. They're above it. They want everything to be pristine, professional. They want us to speak a certain way, dress a certain way. Our art has to be a certain way. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all because, well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And whose place is it to tell any artist what is or is not art, what is or is not aesthetic?
Yeah.
You know.
Don't get me wrong. I was that person that was like, that's not good art. That's bad art. You know, that used to be.
We all have our moments.
Yeah. But that was when I was younger. Now I definitely appreciate all mediums. Don't matter what, as long as you try. That's my biggest point. Like, you try, you give your heart into it, And you know, if it doesn't show or does show, you know, at least you tried.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, my issue with the Rockford Arts Council is they are like, they don't just look at your art. They don't just look at you as a person in that field. They outsource. What friends do you have? What do you post on social media and stuff like that? Yeah, right. And the way that they collect what you represent is not necessarily, in my eyes, the most ethical thing, because, you know, I post jokes on my Facebook a lot of the time, like memes and stuff like that. I try to stay out of politics.
Yeah.
You know, like the most you'll ever get from me is like me posting facts or empowerment for multiple demographics that don't necessarily get that, but that's just me looking out for the underdogs, because we all have been there.
Yeah.
But like, just understanding that, like, I couldn't be too out there about certain friends I have, or I can't post a little too much about family that I've had, you know, because it could make me look bad just because I'm associated with these people.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah.
I totally understand. So when you were figuring this out, where were you in the timeline, if you mind?
In the timeline,
like, what was this?
when it finally clicked for me was setting up the Noir show.
Okay.
You know, I've heard it from multiple artists from all kinds of different cliques, and I'm like, at the time, I'm like, well, you guys must be beefing or whatever, it's personal and it sucks to suck, but I don't experience that, you know? Not realizing that I am just a really friendly person. I tend to get along with a lot of people. But it really clicked because I'm putting together this group for art shows. I have two separate group chats at the time. I had a group chat for my art, and I had a group chat for my musical performers. And I think you were in the artist group chat.
Yeah, for the Noir, yeah.
Yeah, so I made that quick flyer, and my goal with the flyer wasn't necessarily to make a big, amazing work of art. It was just, I need a handful of information to get put on a flyer that's aesthetic enough for a person to glance at it, but have all the information there, because when you look at it, you need to know when, where, how, what, you know, all the information you put on a flyer.
Yeah, definitely, like, very important.
Very important.
You miss one thing, and then that could be make or break of, like,
for real.
I think I'm not going to go, or I am going to go, you know?
Misspell something, anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I'm talking to the artists, and, you know, a few artists, they might not have liked the design that I had for the flyer, which is A-okay, and I was definitely open for artists to make their own flyers so that they can reach out to their own demographic of fans and whatever, because we want all these demographics that tend to be separate come together. We're coming to a cool place, we're going to have a good time, have good aesthetics, good music, you know, we're going to enjoy ourselves. That's the goal. I had artists argue just because they didn't like one of the flyers that one of my artists put, and then I realized that if like they're just gonna hate. People are just gonna hate. Like, it's a human thing. I mean, I think it's been proven through history time and time again, like, humans really do like conflict, and there's no such thing as perceivable peace among humans, because that's just something that we like. I can't say that I'm above that kind of behavior. I just recognize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, when I had that, I tried to create that group chat to make it like a peaceful experience. We're going to motivate each other. If you want to post your art in here, we can post your art in here. If you need updates, you're going to have updates. If you need to know when your work's due, you're going to know that. It's all going to be in this group chat. But never did I expect for it to blow up in such a heated argument between two friends of mine, which may put me in a hard situation, because one of my friends was offended for one reason, the other friend was offended for another reason.
I know what you're talking about.
Like all you can say is, you have a point, homie, but other homie has a point. At the end of the day, we just gotta dab it up and go on about our business, because it's really not that serious.
yeah. It really wasn't, you know, like, I felt like, you know, if you don't like something, you know, just don't speak on it.
Right, absolutely. And you know, for that to be my show, like, if I didn't want them to make their own flyers, I would have said, like, yo, we're sticking to this one, sorry y'all. But you know, when he created it, he showed it to me, I can't quite remember what the flyer looked like, but I do remember that it wasn't necessarily my favorite design. But did I go and tell him, no, I think this looks like shit? You know, like, that's his art.
Yeah.
That's his aesthetic. That's what he felt looked good. He has his own fan base. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that he's creating, there are people out there that like it. And just because I wouldn't have created it or chose to lean into that aesthetic, it doesn't make it any less of a worthy piece of art or a worthy whatever to get the eyes of whatever you're trying to do. Like, that's what it is to be an artist. And who am I to sit there and, you know, I guess, kind of gatekeep.
Oh man, yeah, sorry about that, everybody, man. I had my grandma stop by and drop some food.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I love that. I bet she hooked it up too.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out my grandma, man.
Shout out.
Oh man, where are we at?
I was discussing about the people that was dropping out the show, and one of them was Shaniqua Porter, just because she didn't like the drama.
Yeah.
Not. The way I worded that sounds bad. It's not just because she didn't like the drama. It's when you're an artist, you got to pick and choose your battles. You got to pick and choose who you're gonna associate with, and if who you're gonna associate with, you know, brings drama, you got to choose to step away from that. So I totally support her choice to choose to step away from that. You know,
that sucks though.
I know it sucks, but yeah, it's okay because me and her have become friends. She still came to the show and showed her support. After the show, we went out together as friends, you know. It's totally great. So next time I have a event that I plan on hosting, she's probably going to be the first person that I'll hit up because she knows that I'm not about the drama. Unfortunately, my artists were, and she didn't want to be involved in that environment. So, I mean, I don't hold it against her. I would do the same thing.
To tell you the truth, I mean, the reason, I still stuck in there because, like I said, it wasn't, I really don't care.
I didn't think it was that serious.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, fuck it, you know? But, I can see why, like, if I didn't know you as well, Sya, and, like, I saw that kind of would make me, like, maybe I shouldn't know.
Right, and that was my first instance of, like, really meeting her. You know, I seen her art around, I've been to art shows where she was physically there, but never did I sit down and be like, oh, hey, hi, I'm Sya, nice to meet you, you know. It wasn't until after my Noir art show, we went out, they were doing, shout out to Jack's Hookah Lounge, beautiful black-owned business. They were doing a trap karaoke night. I'm not really big on hookah, but the trap karaoke, I was like, I gotta see you. It was a really good time, really tame, but we all had such a good time. It was real nice. I got to know Shaniqua. She's cool. Her friends are cool. You know, it's really
other artists or just Shaniqua and then just her friends?
No, her friends.
Okay.
You know, some of her friends, like one of her friends is actually my boyfriend currently, so I already had an in with her and stuff like that, but I wanted to organically do it. I didn't want to tell him, hey, you should introduce me to Shaniqua. Like, I know we're in the same, you know, field, so in time will just bring us together, and that it did. That it did. You know.
Now, you mentioned that you're kind of shy to, like, talk to her, if I'm wording right.
Yeah.
Dude, I be the same fucking way.
I'm a shy ass person.
Yeah.
And the only thing that gets me out of it is like I'll take a couple shots before I do something that I think might make me shy. I'll just like, alright, I'm gonna go take a shot or two or three. Like before coming here, I definitely swung by my favorite bar. Shout out to Mary's Place.
Ooh, Mary's. Cheapest
bars in Rockford. But yeah, no, I went there. I had me 2 shots, 2 drinks, just to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why. Don't get me wrong. Like I feel like an asshole sometimes, but you know, I'm definitely shy. So like when I'm around a group of artists, I'm definitely quiet. And what gets me to talk more is when they introduce themselves. Like, oh, I'm such and such. I know you're Angel Rodriguez, the studios. Oh, okay. You know, the burden calms down. Yeah.
Good weed.
Thank you.
No, I totally understand being shy and stuff. Like, not an alcoholic, but having some drinks for whatever reasons. You know, they call it liquid courage for a reason.
Yeah, that's true. Shit, I had some liquid courage last night, man. Usually when I record, I drink a little, just so that way I can get the nerves out of my system. And I can record, like, if I really want to be, like, right here with the camera set up back there, I use the liquid courage.
And what's crazy is, like, it's not just me. I've talked to tons of people that experience anxiety, social anxiety and stuff like that, be shy and stuff like that. They get liquor in their system and they're cool. And it's not even like overconfidence like some people experience or overexcitement or over anything. It's just normally we're on 10 with the anxiety in a social situation. You drink alcohol, it takes it away. So it almost takes us to like baseline, unless we're shit faced. But I tend to get a like 2 shots, 2 drinks is my. You know, I don't want to be fucked up. I just, you know, I want that anxiety not to be there.
Yeah, mine is like a drink or 2 and I'm good. Yeah, once I feel it, I'm done. Because anything after feeling that to me, I feel like right away after the come down, I start to get a headache and I get really
hangovers suck. And I also don't like to be the one where I wake up in the morning and I either ask 1, what the fuck happened last night, or 2, oh my god, like realizing what happened last night because I remember it and I feel horrible, you know. Like I definitely did that. My birthday was February 12th.
This February 12th?
Yeah, this February 12th. I celebrated my birthday. And I celebrated it that entire weekend long, and every single day I was like, I will enjoy myself, I'll get a little fucked up, but I'm going to remember, and I'm not going to have a hangover. And so, like, that was my thing, and then afterwards I was just like, I'm going to keep this theme up, because
later.
I'm going to keep this theme up, because I like remembering what goes on, and I like not feeling embarrassed the next day.
Yeah, and sorry man, we're like zigzagging across topics. I definitely forgot to mention, you know, thank you for inviting me to the Noir show.
You were one of the artists on my list of I gotta bring that guy because he's a talented man.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely want to bring it up because man, I really apologize if I didn't bring the heat.
Oh no, you brought the heat. Your cans and shit that you do, like, it was incredible to me. It's unique in the sense that, you know, sculpting, sculpture, and things like that. I mean, tons of people can do it, but it's really strange to come across an artist that will repurpose certain things like cans to make these, like, amazing pieces.
Thank
they're
you.
so good. Yeah, no, your work is so solid. Your talent with graffiti work and line work totally gets me because that's definitely a realm that I'm not as familiar with, and like I could sit down and if I really think about it, I mean I gotta think hard. That I could probably produce some graffiti work or something along those realms of the art world, but it's not my cup of tea. It's not what I can do. So
well I really appreciate it. That means a lot. You know, people do tell me like, oh, you know, your style of graffiti is dope. But man, I feel like I'm really trash. I shit you not.
Yo,
like
just
this.
An artist thing. That's sick as hell.
But that's by Jay Skrilla.
Oh, Skrilla. They all sick though. Skrilla. I like him. I invite him to my art shows just because of his charisma alone. Because like, you know, like I catch myself sometimes, especially when it comes to art shows and stuff like that, because I'm so serious about my business. It means so much to me. I come off as a little too serious when really these things are going on, so that the customers and the people that are going in, whether or not they're buying shit or not, they need to have a good time, you know, enjoy themselves, enjoy the aesthetics, have a place to take a cool selfie, tell their friends about, you know what I mean? Dre, he's got that energy, that vibe that anybody can get down with. I love him for that.
Yeah, definitely. He was also your DJ?
It was not him, it was one of his friends, and he was working with them. It was kind of a collaborative effort with that because, you know, enough people came to me about having musical performance, which I hadn't thought about before. I was just going to throw together a playlist of really sick lo-fi on YouTube to play during the show, but when they said they wanted to do their music stuff, I'm like, who am I to tell you can't? We got a stage, we got the equipment, you know, but one thing I am going to tell you is you guys got to figure out how the fuck you're going to put it on. You know, what your set is, how long each set is going to be, make sure everybody gets their time on the mic and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, it's not my forte. I don't know the first thing about setting up music stuff. It's not my thing.
Dude, I literally thought it was just speakers, and then you just connect the mic into the aux, and then you just say, dude, it's not that.
No, it's not. It's not at all. And, you know, I have, like, some music making equipment because for fun, I like to make beats.
Really?
Yeah, I have one song that if you go on my Instagram, on one of my highlighted things. You can find me to secure my one song. It's not a good song.
Yeah.
It's called Microwave Pizza Rolls. It's about microwave pizza rolls, and it's a house party track, and I did it for funsies, whatever. You know, I wasn't the one who produced it. Brandon Demas, shout out to Brandon Demas, produced it.
Ooh, shout out.
Yeah. So,
Did you know what you were doing? Like, how long did it take you to even, like, make that beat? And when I say that, like, did you buy equipment randomly right away and then make the beat and then it took a couple days?
No, Brandon Demas, he is a very talented, multi-talented musician. He happened to have a MacBook and tons of different music equipment. Music's not my forte, so when I see all that music equipment, I can't tell you what he had.
Yeah,
I know there was a mic. I know there was a keyboard. You know, he had the little thing he tapped with his foot that he used for his guitar. I'm not a musician.
Okay, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about, but there's like
I play
so
a ukulele. I can play a mean ukulele. I really actually can, but it's just for fun shit to do, not my forte. Brandon Demas, though, that song wouldn't have happened without him. Because really, the hardest work that I did was saying microwave pizza rolls into a mic a couple times. Motherfucker took it and produced it, and I just listened and I was like, yeah, I like that. No, I don't like that. Yeah, I like that. And, you know, he really worked that magic.
Wow, dude, and
yeah, I know how to make beats. I've made beats before. I will never release or drop them because it's simply no different than anybody wanting to sit down and put in work in a video game or something. I'm just doing something for fun, hobby that I don't plan on making lucrative. Yeah,
that's dope. When, like, on the first episode, you had already been making beats, or this is just recent?
By the first episode, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, but Microwave Pizza Rolls might have just dropped. I wasn't even gonna. Yeah, I wasn't even gonna mention it. Like, if you happen to creep on my social media and stumble upon the post where it drops the link and stuff like that, kudos to you. If you really want to look for it, you can find it on my Instagram easier, on my SoundCloud with my one song, but...
Well, I mean, now that I know, I definitely got to put it in the description.
Yeah. Well, hey, shout out to Tostitos, because the story behind that song is actually hilarious.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I get made fun of all the time because people typically take the frozen Tostitos pizza rolls, they put them on their little baking sheet, put it in the oven, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like it that way. It's not even a speed thing. I mean, speed's nice too, but it's not a speed thing to rush and have something quick to eat. It simply comes down to, yo, call me nasty, whatever you want to do. You can blame it on the other half of my genes, but when you put those frozen Tostitos pizza rolls on a plastic plate and you put it in the microwave, they're just like, they're these like squishy. These squishy little lava sacks. They're so good. My friends would make fun of me because they were like, yeah, you know, I'd have people over and they usually had like pizza rolls, fries, you know, things that you can make in a pan, toss them in the oven or the microwave real quick for guests.
Yeah.
And they know about how I feel about my microwave pizza rolls. They'll be like, yeah, you make pizza rolls, but you cook your plate separate. Like, we want ours in the oven. We're civilized. We follow the directions.
Oh, hell no.
Man.
And,
so, yeah, it became such an active joke so long in my friend group and with my partner at the time that I decided to make a song about it. Because, for real, shout out to those Tinos and shout out to my microwave. That shit's delicious. 4 cheese in the microwave. But that's my thing. That's how that song came about.
And wait, I mean, I don't know if I'm just high as hell or you mentioned it. You could keep going.
Okay, bye.
What persuaded you to do beats or try it? You know?
Honestly, like, I love music.
Yeah.
I love music. Like, you know, of course I like my lyrical shit. I listen to, you know, tons of artists that sing or rap or whatever. But what really tickles my fancy is a fire-ass beat. And so I listen to a lot of lo-fi because of it. I also have synesthesia, if you're familiar with it.
Is that a certain...
It's a neurological disorder. I don't personally like to consider it a disorder because it doesn't, like, negatively affect, it doesn't make anything hard for me, ever, you know. And I didn't even know I had it until like years later. I don't really remember exactly what happened. I just know it was in conversation that I was like, no one else thinks this way? Like, I thought everybody saw this. So for me, any sound, and I'm talking any sound, the sound of my own voice, the sound of your voice, the sound of that fan over there, the sound of you slightly bumping the desk and making that tiny rumble, every single sound makes this like texture and color, if that makes sense. And I see these things. And I thought everybody did. I don't see this disorder. It doesn't fuck me up for anything. You know, if anything, it makes my art more interesting. But yeah, so when I hear a good beat, specifically lo-fi usually, I do be listening to ASMR stuff too.
Oh really? I'm not a fan of ASMR. It gives me like, ugh.
I don't, it depends on what it is. Yeah, like, I don't want to hear you chomping on food. That's weird. But like, have you ever played the video game Breath of the Wild, the newest Zelda? Yeah.
I know the theme song.
Not just the theme song, but I play the game regularly. If anybody wants to add me on my Switch, shout out to the Switch. You can slide on my Instagram. What is it? Stay Wild Child. Wild spelt with Wild and Child, both spelled with a Y instead of an I. But
wait, can you link up in Zelda?
No. But there's tons of other games I play, and I'm very lonely because nobody has mine.
I have a Switch and I'm gonna be on it. Yeah,
no, get on Breath of the Wild. My goal is to beat it 100% before even touching the castle, and I've been playing it for 2 years. So.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But everything you do in that game, super ASMR-y. I'm talking the footsteps to small movements that you wouldn't even think to put noises on, like cooking and, you know, picking up items and, you know, all that stuff has really nice small noises to all these tiny technical things, and it's super satisfying to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, with having synesthesia, with certain sound and certain songs, really influences my artwork like a lot. So yeah, I know I have another lighter. I do. I definitely you know, that's kind of like the biggest drive and the biggest connection between music and artistry. And when I do make my music, it's not so much to make a banger as much as it is to make a sound that is satisfying.
Dude. I mean, don't get me wrong, I definitely love beat. People's songs, if you have a good beat, I would definitely, that attracts me first.
It makes or breaks the song.
Yeah.
The beat makes or breaks the song, what you got to say later. Because I've heard songs where the lyrics are trash. I mean, some of these songs out here, some of these big hits we got out here, dead ass, the lyrics are the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But for whatever reason, that beat goes so damn hard, you could say whatever on that shit and be alright.
Yeah.
Even like parodies, like I can't remember. No, what was it? Hobson made a parody of like mumble rappers and shit like that, just to make fun of them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know the rapper Hobson, but I don't know. I probably don't know the song.
Take the time to look it up. I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure if you type in keywords, it's like a meme where he's making fun of mumble rappers and shit like that. Why the fuck? He makes fun of these mumble rappers, and at the end he goes, "Hey, but that beat go hard though," and it does.
Yeah.
It does. You can literally rap about anything, and if the beat's hard enough, you know.
No, I definitely feel you.
Be a little roachy roach.
Yeah, fucking you could dump it in there.
Okay.
Fucking yeah, bro. I really am not impressed if you use rap. You gotta have a variety of styles like R&B, mellow, fucking techno. You fucking. I'll be impressed if a motherfucker can put their voice in some techno music, bro.
What can you rap on and how you rap on it, man? I think you can rap to any beat, beat, no matter what it is. Beethoven, some hard ass trap shit, some techno bullshit, some lo-fi and sleep shit. Like, you can.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, I'm still gonna give rap their chance because you know that I gotta give everybody their chance now.
Right.
You know? But just alone rap, it's not really impressive.
No. My favorite rappers tend to be three. I'm gonna say three top rappers is Kendrick Lamar, Chance the Rapper. Some want to suggest that Chance the Rapper might not be a rapper, he's a poet, but to me rap is poetry, so
no, I feel you.
And Doja, some might argue she's not a rapper, but I don't really care. This is my opinion, and you know, I don't get paid for it either, so I'm just saying the way I feel.
No, I feel you. Me, I kind of stopped just like, I like this rapper. I just say the names because, you know. Me, like, don't get me wrong, like I said, like, just rap along. Like, my favorite music is, like, techno, mellow. I really love the mellow shit, bro. Like, I don't know why. But if it makes me feel, like, if it makes me feel my soul, then I definitely love it too.
Yeah. Before I got into rap, I wasn't even into rap like that. I actually was a really big fan of rock. Yeah. So my favorite bands consisted of, like, all the rock I hear people making fun of today. I liked Tool, you know, Slipknot.
I heard of that one.
Tool, to this day, I'm still like, but Slipknot.
And are these like
Korn? I got to see them live. They put on a good show.
You saw them live?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Dance Gavin Dance, which R.I.P. their bassist just died yesterday, and I'm like still processing that. It's so sad. I've been the biggest fan of Dance Gavin Dance since I was 15 years old. That's well over 10 years, and I even got to see them live once. They were amazing. You know, so it's so sad to see that like bass player in my favorite band passed away, but R.I.P. What else did I listen to?
I mean, we are getting older. They're getting old. I mean, we are getting older. They're getting older.
I didn't see the cause of death. I haven't dug to look the cause of death up because the first thing I saw was a post from one of the bandmates pretty much saying respect the family's wishes and privacy. I don't need to know why he died. He's dead, you know, so I just kind of, that's a mystery. I don't know how he died.
Yeah.
But I know he couldn't have been that much older than me, you know.
Oh, really? I was thinking older.
Easily early 30s.
Oh, okay.
Where Dance Gavin Dance, if anyone's not familiar, is like post-hardcore and math rock had a baby. That's Dance Gavin Dance. Original lead singer was Johnny Craig. He doesn't have a great reputation. Second lead singer was Kurt Travis. I don't know why that split happened, but it happened. And then Johnny Craig came back for a brief moment. Didn't work out so well, so the newest and current lead singer is Tillian Pearson, I believe is his name. So yeah, they've gone through their waves. So Dance Gavin Dance is like, it's not underground now, but when I was listening to them, didn't nobody know who the fuck they were.
Really?
Like, yeah. So now people kind of know who they are.
And do you relate more when it's like that, like when, you know, nobody knows who you are, but then when you start to build your name?
Yeah, it's like what I was saying earlier with artistry. It's like 30% your skill, the rest is your friends and the people you know. And if you don't know the right people, you could be the world's greatest fucking prodigy to ever fucking be birthed, you know, on earth, and still somehow not get as far as people that aren't nearly as skilled, talented, or as intelligent. You know, socially it's a thing. Like, I have actually a friend who's not even really in the industry as far as performing goes. Hands down, over all the rappers I've ever heard in person or over the radio or through recording, all the local people I've ever met, each and every one of them, this one person is the best I've ever seen in my entire life. But he has a certain level of social anxiety and doesn't know how to talk to people. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I shit you not, that really plagues creators. I don't know.
No, it is a plague. It is a plague. So, that's why I'll tend to lean a little bit on weed or a shot or two, you know, some drinks, because especially when things are like, when it's something important, like going to the Rockford Area Art Council Art Award ceremony as a nominee. Like, yeah, before I left, hell yeah, it took me a shot. I got nerves up the ass, and these people are going to see this name tag that says I'm a nominee. They're going to want to hear about my artwork. They're going to want to talk to me, you know, and a lot of times I'm really nervous and awkward, and it tends to make other people want to not be by me if I'm like that. So, and for those situations, I'll definitely take me a drink or two to get in the mood. Otherwise, it's my detriment.
Yeah, and I'm glad we got into it because that's one of the things I wanted to mention was the Rockford Art Award. How was it?
It was. At first, I was like, when I got nominated, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Being in Rockford and not seeing.
And may I ask, did a letter come to your door or did an owl deliver it?
No, I got an email. Yeah.
I see you not. I was thinking people that get nominated get a fancy ass letter like Howard Awards or something.
I suppose I could have if my address was available, but it's business wise. I like to keep all my communication
through email.
Yeah, through email. So they hit me on the email. I guess when you nominate a person, you give them their name and tag their social media, and then drop their email or contact information of sorts. And so, I had 3 or 4 nominees, and I was nominated for more than just Visual Artist of the Year.
Oh shit!
I was nominated for I can't remember all the categories. There's 3 different categories, and I was like, I'm gonna pick one because one of them was Distinguished Artist of the Year, and I felt very firmly that it was not me. I felt very firmly towards that it could have been, 317, which I believe were the winners of that award, or my friend Dylan Rose, shout out to them, again. Or Kelvin Candy.
Ooh, yeah,
shout out to him.
Yeah,
He's my mentor. I love him to death. He's amazing and talented and all that.
I can't wait for his shop opening up soon.
Ooh, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Come through.
Come through. It is. I didn't really notice the address, but was it going to be at his art show?
I'm going to be there. It's a storefront off of 7th Street towards downtown.
And then that's his store, right?
Yeah, it's like a gallery / studio / lots of opportunities. I'm so happy for him. This is something he's been working towards for a long time. He's been putting in that good work for that. Right.
And wait, but there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you had to pick one. What did you mean? I thought once you're nominated for different categories, that's sort of the ones you're in.
It's not that. So they nominate you. They send you that email. They say you've been nominated for da da da. You gotta send in examples of your best work. You have to send in I have a whole separate resume outside of my resume for random jobs, like right now I'm a casino server, a normal person job.
Yeah.
I have a resume specifically for my art career. I had to send that over, all that, and then you're in the category. So I got Distinguished Artist something else and Visual Artist of the Year, and I wanted that Visual Artist of the Year. So I was bump the other emails, shoo. I'm going to send in my information strictly for Visual Artist of the Year. I will not be in these other categories, and so that's what happened.
And may I ask, how do you define that category?
Visual Artist of the Year. Well, that's just what I do, is visual art, and I feel like this year I've grown and reached a certain point of success that kind of surpassed my own expectations. So that is something I felt I've put in the work to be worthy of that award. Distinguished Artist, I did not feel I put in that work to be deserving of that award. Even though it was a wonderful compliment that I was nominated for such, I felt I wasn't there yet, so that's why I didn't, go further and submit my stuff for those categories. I wish I remember what the other one was. The other one I felt was almost unrelated to what I do. that one I'm pretty sure somebody that was trying to nominate me might have clicked the wrong thing or something. That was the sole purpose behind that other one. Because I was yo, I don't even do this. What?
Yeah. No, that's definitely dope, man. Congrats, dude, for real. Getting nominated for a couple categories.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's that tells me that more than one person has their eye on me, and I am very determined to keep growing and growing and growing. Super determined.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. But was it artists you and me, or white collar?
Doesn't tell you who. Oh, how the actual event went. Bro. I had to spend $200 on this fit for this formal ass event. Bro,
really?
I'm talking suit and tie. I'm talking, we went in there and they were serving a little bit of fancy food. They were serving their little cocktails and stuff like that. They had a little tiny, I don't know what you would call them, a band, or I'll call it a band because I just don't know the better term, but a bunch of violin players playing like fancy music. It was like one of those events where you have to like make sure you're checking your posture, enunciate your things, like very professional cocktail eventy. It felt good to see, you know, when we're all sitting down in the little auditorium. Well, it was an auditorium, I don't know, theater. Yeah, we're sitting down in the theater in our fancy little chairs with our fancy little cocktails and looking up, listening to the mayor and all these great people speak their fancy ass speeches, and watching as every category goes on. Each nominee had their work on display on big screen, and when mine came on, I had to fight the tears. Like, man. And it wasn't even like...
Did you have makeup?
Oh yeah, that's exactly why I had to fight the tears. Fuck all the other thing. I spent like 2 hours trying to make my makeup perfect and stuff. We're not gonna...
Hear me out. I maybe sound stupid, but if a girl cries and she has her whole eyes covered with makeup, why not go like this? So they just fall straight down, you know, they go in the circle.
The trick? Get waterproof makeup. Get cry-proof makeup.
Oh, that's also a better one, because then people are going to be like, what is she doing?
yeah, you can jump in a pool and makeup's all in one place still. Ooh. I have some that's like that, but I don't do my makeup that seriously.
Dude, that's dope, man. Damn, but that sucks, you know, like me, like, don't get me wrong, I'm proper when I need to be, but like, I'm not going to change who I am, you know. Just because you see me in a suit doesn't mean I'm going to change my vocabulary. It's going to be where it's going to be.
It was
where
so hard. It was, like, so hard to, my goal is to always seem like a human being, even if I'm in these, you know, situations, or having like even a serious thing, like I've been like trying to media train myself or whatever the fuck, you know.
I get you too.
You know, for because this next year, with all the things that I'm hoping to do come next year, I expect to be a little bit more in stuff, you know, than what I was this year. So I'm like trying to figure out how I should be. You know, this is comfortable. This is chill. We just kicking it, talking. But the biggest part is I don't want to sound like a product. I'm a human. I'm not a thing or whatever, you know. And this year that's also been like, I guess the negative side in my experience. Some people like it, but for me, like, I'm going to this scenario that's happened way too many times. But I decided, you know, with my friends to step out for a drink or two. I'm not turning up necessarily, but, you know, you might catch me sitting at the bar with my little drink, sipping and chilling, doing my own thing, and you walk up to me because you want to have a full-blown conversation about my art, my vision, why this, why that. You pull up social media. Now you want to share with me your art and talk about this, that, and the other thing, about how you want to get into this and the other thing, and you expect me to, like, I don't know, it happens. It's not that that's a bad thing, you know, that's me talking to the right people, you know, in social situations, exactly how I got in, but it's like so frequent. Yeah, it's so frequent where it's like uncomfortable, it's unnerving, you know. One time it happened when I was at the grocery store, like, bro, I'm in sweatpants, clearly hungover. I'm buying eggs and bread and shit. Like, why are you... Leave me alone. Like, why? It can be a little uncomfortable, and I don't know. That's like the negative side of it. So it's like trying to, like going out in public. Sometimes I'd be thinking twice about it. And
yeah, do me too.
Luckily, my workplace, nobody that messes with like my line of work as far as art stuff. Like, nobody goes there. It's typically just old people running their retirement or whatever. You know, it's a great place to work, I'm not going to lie. I actually love my job. But, you know, it's usually older people or, you know, people that I just don't see. So it's like, cool, you guys will never be at my art event, and I'll never be wherever you guys go other than where I work. So there's like a lovely separation of the two things. So, yeah, it's cool. But,
and we're talking about hard rock?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Hey, if
that's
you guys
something.
do like to gamble, you can definitely come by, say hi. I think it's a lovely place, a lovely environment. You know, if you just think I've never gambled before, I'm just a cocktail server. I will sell you drinks. or serve you drinks. You know, some shit's free, but
yeah, I definitely been wanting to check it out, but I'm not a gambler, especially right now. That
Yeah. I see. It's because there's like I don't know 600 or 700 machines. I work at the Hard Rock while they're waiting for the real Hard Rock to be built. So the one that I work at is an entire building filled with electric gambling machines. There are no card tables or anything. There's two restaurants and bars and stuff like that. Yeah, no, there will be. Well, they're building the big place right where the clock tower used to be. Yeah, it's gonna be. I hear it's gonna be really cool. I've been hearing you talk and seeing the game plan for it, so I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be real nice. But
yeah, isn't it gonna be like another like where people perform?
Yeah, people perform at the one we have now. It's just not huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there was acoustic night yesterday? I don't know. I know I walked out and I glanced over as I was clocking out, and I'm like, oh yeah, somebody's about to set up, but. You know, you're at work. You clock out. You're on a one-way out that door. You're not trying to pay attention to anything. And I think I had to do some artwork that day, so I had to go.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. I'm a very social smoker.
Yeah. No. I know it's a habit. Yeah. Have you? Oh. Sorry, I'm a little stuck, but have you tried putting your art in the Hard Rock, if you don't mind me asking?
No, and it's only because the Hard Rock, as far as art goes, they're very
yeah, very selective.
Yeah, because their artwork isn't just artwork. It's like since
memorabilia.
Yeah, it's memorabilia. So Cheap Trick was the thing. So we have like a couple of their guitars, you know, paintings. We have like a whole setup with their clothes, and then there's like a whole setup like the Hard Rock likes to raffle stuff off. Right now we have like a big ass motorcycle in the middle of the casino, just chilling there, you know.
That's gonna get like auctioned.
Yeah,
yeah. What?
Yeah, you gotta talk to them about how you get into that. I have nothing.
No, I bet you have to pay a big ticket though.
I don't know. My one and only focus is serving drinks to my customers and trying to be like really positive or whatever. Make their experience alright.
But you do have your art at the JK Lounge.
I actually do not. Where you can find my art, however, is Spring Art Scene. My art will be released at the McPherson. And my artwork is currently up at 317. More will soon be to come. It's the beginning next month. The beginning of next month, it'll be quite the transition. My work into 317, and I intend on having. I have a line of skateboards that I have painted, and I intend on putting them in the ground floor, and dropping off a few other things at a few shops that I've worked at. Like I've done the Bubble Hive,
Yeah.
I've dropped my work off. There was Crypto Cafe, but they recently went out of business, so I pulled my artwork out of there. I was gonna drop some stuff off at Culture Shock, spread it out.
Yeah.
Don't want it all in one spot.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, right now it's all over the internet, and I've sold quite a few pieces since I've been posting all my art, because it's like I've been making like a lot of art really fast, like fast producing all this work, and the winter season, the season just got a little slow because no one likes to come outside during the winter. I don't, and
can't wait for.
Yeah, so I had to make room for new work. So I definitely will have lines of new work coming out in bulk quite soon. Now that I've made some space.
And we check that out on Instagram, Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram. Honestly, I do my rounds through Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Like, I do my little rounds. I have art pages on both Facebook and Instagram, and my personal pages, which a lot of people have me on because for whatever reason, it's easier for me to focus on my personal page rather than my art page. I gotta get better about it. But yeah, I have my art up there on those pages, and then soon I will have different works that I intend on posting on Facebook, but not meant to sell on Facebook. If you want to buy whatever pieces, new stuff that I post going forward, you're gonna have to buy it through going to shows, or some stuff might just be in certain shops. You got to go to those shops, you know, stuff like that.
No, I get it, you know.
Trying to spread the exposure.
I was gonna say, yeah. Where do you get these boards?
Oh, I'm a skater myself. Have a handful of friends that skate, so I just grab old decks from people, sand them boys down, put some paint over them, and do a thing. So with that being said, if anybody, you know, has anything like that they just don't know what to do with, I will take that off your hands.
Dude, they're so expensive, dude.
Blank decks really aren't that expensive, but it makes life easier when you just get blank decks.
What do you mean? Because
it's usually like some people, like quite a few of them are broken. So like basically you broke your skateboard in half. That's not gonna be salvageable. You either toss it out or you do something with it. And for me, I'll repurpose it into a sick ass art piece. You know, a lot of the blank decks I have, with the exception of a few, which were just random white sanded decks that I've gotten from like friends that just happen to have them. Don't intend on doing anything with them, you know. I just ask around. You'll find that a lot of people just have decks.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I have like 4 blank decks just chilling right now. Like I have a lot of them. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, and sorry if we're doving off.
That's
so
what
like,
happens when you smoke weed.
But yeah, you did mention this art scene, April 22nd to the 23rd. You're gonna be at the McPherson.
I will be at both the McPherson and 317. If I'm not at one, I'm at the other pretty much. I'll be bouncing between the two. I was considering putting my art in another place, and if I do, I'll announce it on Facebook. I'll like announce it, and I'm not so sure if I will. I don't want to overbook myself, overstress myself out.
No, I definitely feel that. Yeah, but that's dope. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, man. I don't know if I'm just gonna showcase what I got and just leave everything else where they're at. Because some of it is downtown.
Yeah.
I definitely can't wait to see everybody. I was gonna do some filming.
Oh yeah, I look forward to it. Yeah, for sure catch me at 317. I hear a word that we're trying to find some extra stuff to make the art show really cool outside. 317, like street performers and stuff like that. I don't know anything confirmed, so I'm not gonna like confirmably say we're definitely doing this, but I know that that's something that hopefully will be, you know, put in the thing. I guess. I don't know.
No, I feel you, man. I just I don't know.
If it's not, either way, the actual 317 is dope as hell. It is such a dope ass vibe. Even if like, I think personally when I experience art scenes, I always hit up 317 at both the beginning and the end of my intendant stroll. Because at the beginning, I'm gonna like see what they have, enjoy it, love it, hit all the other shops and stores, and then at the end, they got this little couch area in the back. I'm gonna sit there with a little piece of wine, glass of wine, and shoot this shit with other artists, and just chill, because they always know how to create such a cool vibe, like comfortable, cool vibe.
Man, I mean, we're creatives, man.
Yeah, it's what we do. It's what we do. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, would you say that it's summer? No, right?
No.
Okay, so what are your plans for summer? I mean, if that's not the same question as like
art shows, just art shows. I don't think I can get, unless I don't know if Feminine Energy is still doing their call for artists. If they are, then I'm in it for sure, because I can hop on the internet today and like, you know, do what I got to do. But I don't think I made the cut. I just had so much going on, I didn't have time.
But yeah, dude, we skipped something I totally want to mention. I mean, if we got time, if it feels comfortable to mention, even if, like, you know, saying, oh, I want to be in everything, is it harder than it seems? Because, dude, trust me,
Yep. Because the thing is you can have so much artwork, you can be overflowing with artwork, and then someone wants to book you for a show, and you're like, oh cool, yeah, sick, I need to get rid of so much artwork. And then they'll be like, the theme is blank. Blank being the one thing you don't have. And so you're gonna make up so much stuff, and then maybe change titles of some artwork that you already have to like change the vibe of the piece entirely and hope to pass for whatever theme, because now you have to like chunk out, you know, it just sucks.
No, dude,
oh man,
me.
yeah, and then like let's not mention pricing your artwork is the hardest thing, because you want your artwork to be affordable for everybody to buy. You want people to be able to support your business by making it as cheap as possible, but at the same time, you look at that, how expensive that canvas was, that set of paintbrushes that you just bought, and the paint that you have to buy every single week, and you know, this, that, and the other thing, and you know, the 24 to 48 hours of time that you spend on just sitting there and drawing and drawing and drawing, and sleepless nights, and you know what I mean, like, to where it's like, okay, I can't just, it's so hard, it's so hard.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I don't seem too high, but dude, I disagree, because, I mean,
yo, it's real, you're an artist, you know.
Yeah, like, for example, I mean, my spray cans, don't get me wrong, some might have the same body, but they are all unique in their own way, because they all have that difference between them, you know. You granted, just the smiles, maybe the smile shape, that might be the same, but every one is different. And dude, it's hard to price them how I really want to price them, but you know, I try to make them affordable, especially for other friendly artists like yourself, man. I'm always down. When I have a supply, don't get me wrong, they do take time, man.
Yeah, and like being a multimedia artist myself, you know, I fuck with everything, you know, a little bit, and I understand that even though things might look simple, they're so much harder than they look. They always are. And so when you're like selling your art at a show and you get that one customer, because I know I always do every now and again, I get the one customer who's like, you know, that's simple. I don't know why that's priced like that. You know, I could have done that. And I'm like, well, then do it.
Trust me.
Then if you can do it, why are you judging? Like, go home, you know, and do it then. Yeah. Stop going to these art shows and just say, you know, I don't need to be going to these art shows because I can just do it. Since you want to judge
Dude.
what amount of energy you think I might have put in it, you don't even know how to do it.
Dude,
but,
I always used to love to say yeah to simple designs. People are like, oh, make me the simple logo. Dude, the more simple it is, the more it's like saying it's hard.
Yeah, like if people aren't artists, or a person that isn't an artist, that can't that just doesn't have the mind to think that way, you know, they think certain things might be simpler than what they actually are. And you know, this like my boyfriend, shout out to him because he's sick, but just because he's sick, but he you know, he's not an artist himself, so he doesn't have that mind. He bought a piece off of me, and he's like, he just thinks it's awesome and the coolest thing. He has it hanging up in his living room, and I'm like, I am so glad that he bought that. Yeah. But like, it was one of the pieces that for me took me like 30 minutes to whip up. Like, it was just one of those things that I've drawn so many times in a row that I could just real quick. And he saw so much intricacies in it than what I felt like was there, versus pieces that I've spent, you know, hours upon hours working on, and people look at it and they're like, you know, like,
dude, I hate that. I hate that.
I'm like, you really just like, do you know what I've done? Do you know what it took?
Dude, like the headaches.
Sacrifice.
Dude, like the headaches, the overthinking, like, is it good? Is it good? Is it done? Mm-hmm. Do I need more? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That one hit hard.
Right.
Yeah, some of the simplest ones, for me as well, sometimes, you know, they've been the hitters, man.
Man, sometimes, you know, you always get surprised with what your audience is into, and I try to adjust my work to appeal to my audience, you know, to the best of my ability, of course. But
yeah, I mean, shit, no, I mean, for example, this I thought I was gonna appeal more to the like art videos, but then this podcast thing got more attention.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I at the end of the day though, I love doing what I do though. I wouldn't trade it for the world. This is my favorite thing in the entire world. Like,
Yeah.
I'll probably do it forever.
Yeah, I mean, me too, man. As long as I can, you know. But I know there's something I learned too as well recently. Like, life can happen, so people, you know.
Yeah, life does happen. I've had to take some breaks here and there.
Yeah.
Long breaks too. Because life, I mean, COVID for all of us was hard, you know.
I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're already established artist, you probably still have to work. But the thing is, like, I feel like somebody for me that was barely starting up, man, it was hard because, you know, COVID, you know, like, how am I going to send you art? How am I going to show you my art?
Right. It was not that long after I had just really gotten into my art stuff that COVID hit, and when COVID hit, it like put a hard pause on it until like February of last year. Yeah, February of last year, just before my birthday was about when I finally started stepping in a little bit better into like the art realm after COVID put their pause on everything. So
dude, that shit was
it sucks. I would have been ahead a little bit further by now. Hey, I'm not mad at where I'm at. I'm not mad at where I'm at at all.
I mean, we're learning. You
Yeah.
know, you can't really say you failed forever because, you know, you're still living, still growing.
Yeah, I definitely honed my skills and expanded my knowledge of medium during COVID. So if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be as skilled.
Oh, bro, dude, like that whole COVID, I mean, helped me out because it made me refine my skills.
I refined the shit out of my skills. So it had nothing better to do with sit and draw.
Yeah.
Where was I gonna go? You know.
But yes, and then I mean, we can almost wrap it up because I definitely want to talk to you off camera about some shit, you know. But well, I mean, yeah, we've pretty much finished everything, I guess. Well, sorry, I'm getting lost.
It's okay. They will have you smoke weed.
Yeah. One more time, please. Where do you prefer people to contact you, follow you?
Okay, so like at Sya Ryn Creates,
And that's
SYRYN Creates on both Facebook and Instagram is my art pages. Otherwise, I really don't mind if people wants to follow me on my personal pages because I just post art on that anyway. So my personal page on Facebook is just Sya Ryn, that's my name, SYA, last name RYN. Instagram, I mean, you could probably type in that name and it come up, but I think my Instagram name is like some stuff like, it's a wild child. Wild and child, spell the Y instead of an I. Yeah.
And you are an artist for hire for commissions?
Absolutely. Yeah, hit me up. Spit an idea, hit me up. One thing I will say, because it's been like a reoccurring theme, is now, if you really want me to do a commission, I will be more than happy to do it. Do not expect me to start on anything without a deposit. I don't want to be a dick, but I've had too many people say, yeah, I for sure want it, I want it by this day, I'll pay you this much, and I start it, spend so many hours, you know, ready, the day comes, and they just ghost, and you never hear from them again. Yeah, fuck that, like, yo, like I spent a lot of money to make these things happen. Like, it's very expensive, the supplies that it takes to be an artist. Some people want the best and the most.
And is that for both physical and digital?
Yeah, both.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
sometimes digital can be more expensive than physical. It really depends on what it is. Yeah, it depends on what specifically you want, you know.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that good to know because I definitely want to talk about that afterwards. But yeah, until then, well, anything else?
hit me up.
Yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you for the support, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for so much support. Y'all are sick.
And yeah, thank you again for coming. Doors always open.
For sure.
Yeah, guys, until then, stay safe, stay tuned.
Do that.